Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our Edpuzzle event. I hope you all like my beret. All right. Oh, good. We've already got people here. We got Joe and Deborah and Columbus. OH. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let me get my slides organized. Thank you, Edpuzzlers, for being here and for taking the time to. Did I see Cleveland? Oh, I thought I just saw Cleveland. Hold on, maybe I didn't. All right. Glad to have you join us for our Edpuzzle live event this evening to discover ways to unleash our inner Bob Ross and our happy little trees. We're going to unleash our creativity this evening. As you can see with my little buddy, Albert says, creativity is intelligence having fun. We're going to get into that tonight. Absolutely. Our guest tonight, Emma Cottier, thrives on utilizing common technology tools in creative ways to enhance student learning. So as a person who's really good at drawing stick figures, but not much more, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Emma's got to share with us. I'm Stephanie. I'm from the community team here at Edpuzzle, carrying out our mission to spotlight and share inspirational and innovative instructional ideas with our educator community. Now, as always, if you're here, we've got a certificate of attendance for you to show off your learning. And bonus, Emma has a digital swag bag to give away too. So if you hang in there until the end, we're going to give you those links and you're going to leave with some goodies. Now, as you can see, the chat is open. So while you're settling in, please take some time to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, like what you teach, where you're from, and who your favorite artist is. Is it Picasso, Monet, Michelangelo, Van Gogh? Go ahead and let us know, like that little rhyme. Also, during our discussion tonight, feel free to ask our guests and each other questions in the chat. Share your own stories about student creativity, express your personal aha moments. And if you are evangelizing this event on social media, don't forget to use the hashtag EdpuzzleLive. So with that said, let's say hello to my co-host. And it has been a minute since you have seen him. Welcome back, Manny.
I'm trying to figure out the Zoom. I am reading the comments and I'm like, oh wait, this is my cue. This is my cue.
There's your cue.
Hello.
Join us. Yeah. How you doing?
Fabulous. Yeah, the chat is like going and going. This is super
I know. Cool. Look at all of this. Okay, Monet. I got to tell you, my favorite artist is Picasso. He's mine. Who's yours? Do you have a favorite artist, Manny?
I think I'm one of those teachers who's like, I guess I should know these things, but Hayao Miyazaki is my favorite artist. I love anime.
Oh,
okay. Ghibli. I mean, I know it's not an actual artist, but to me, I love.
That is an artist.
Drawings. Yeah,
of course, that is an artist. Anybody who brings a little life. Again, anybody who's creative, that is art, right? I'm calling it. I'm saying yes, that is art. All right. Yeah, and I'm still, for those of you, I am still trying to figure out. We moved to Zoom, and I got to tell you, I'm still trying to figure it out too. I have mad props for all of you teachers who had to go through pandemic teaching with Zoom because it is not intuitive. All right, and I'm still fumbling around here too. All right, so Manny, what do you think? Should you want to introduce our guests?
Yeah, so let me tell you about our fabulous guest. Her name is Emma Cottier. We figured that out.
Yes.
Privately. She is a passionate and enthusiastic middle school educator from Victoria, British Columbia. In addition to being a full-time teacher, she is an educational consultant to the Cobblestone Collective, where she provides interactive, authentic, and meaningful virtual sessions for both teachers and students to help unleash further creative thinking and learning in classrooms. Whew. Emma is also a certified Google innovator, a digital design enthusiastic, a lover of all things softball, a mama of a little human. Aww.
3-year-old.
And if you don't follow her, honey, you definitely should. just for the visual beauty that she shares. Welcome, Emma, and thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah.
All right, come on in, Emma, join us. Hi.
Oh, wow. Super Manny and Steph, like what an honor. Thanks for the introduction. It is just a pleasure to be here and with so many people coast to coast today. It just warming my heart.
Right? I think, this is the first live event, Edpuzzle live event we've had featuring art, because we've had a lot of other teachers saying, hey, I want a world languages teacher, which I got one for you people. That's coming up later in the fall, but we wanted art. Our teachers don't always get the love. And I met Emma on Twitter, right? And I started following her stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so many teachers who have kids who complain that they're not creative. And she has literally unleashed creativity in her classroom. And she is going to show you how to do that. She's even going to do a demonstration. And like we said, she's got the swag. So why don't we get started? I know Manny's up first with his first question.
Oh, that's right. I have to scroll down.
I know, I got to.
I am like mesmerized with this chat.
Manny will go down. I know you're going down a rabbit hole in the comments. Manny has not met a
I
comment.
am. I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah, you have not met a chat session you don't like. So, all right, go ahead and ask Emma her first question.
As an art teacher, what prompted you to make a move to digital art? What's your origin story?
Well, my origin story, you know what? I would say the grassroots, I think back to like the pre-pandemic normal days of joining forces with teachers, the ed tech summits. And I went to a Google Draw session by this colleague of mine, Darren. We weren't even friends yet. We became friends. And I did a Google Draw session and it just sparked me. And then the world exploded. And I realized that what I was creating was being so helpful and used by teachers all over. So then it just kept fueling my creativity and pumping out these templates. And then I soon learned that, I could provide these really cool, tools and resources to support student learning. And so now it's literally become my job. I'm a digital design teacher, but I'm literally just creating every single day.
Well, and she's sharing. She shares too.
This is in Google Draw?
Yeah, so this sharing and caring, this is just like a sample of different things that my kiddos do day in and day out. And what creativity has really made me realize is that students can share their thinking in so many different ways. And I really realized, and I still do paragraph writing and all that good stuff. I'm a core grade 8 teacher, but I soon realized when I gave students like a little bit of flexibility in the like design kitchen, they were just blowing my mind. Student engagement went up, just their way to articulate, details from what we're reading and just engage with the material. It's never ending. Like every day there's a new design that's blowing my mind from my kiddos. So it just keeps going.
Emma, I'm getting questions in the Q&A. If you have a question for Emma, drop it in the chat so everybody could see it, just so you know, please. And yeah, you're saying that you only use you just use Google Draw and Google Slides, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a universal designer, but in the classroom, I live in Google Slides and Google Draw.
And
I
these
live
are
in them
by your students.
That's insane.
They're all by my students and they're all fresh and like, and for so many different things. This is from the Outsiders book. We actually got a shout out from the author, S.E. Hinton, which is amazing. But like, look at these depictions of the characters. Like instead of, writing, she's a teenage female, like red hair, it's like, boom, this picture tells you everything. And I've always been a creative person, maybe didn't even realize my untapped potential till I became an older, more mature teacher maybe, but I just have really realized that a picture is worth like 1,000 words. A picture can communicate so much more even than a paragraph sometimes, I think.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting, having been a high school English teacher, I know like back in the day, a lot of teachers will say, oh, you know what, go to a magazine or go to the internet and find a picture of who you think this character looks like. That's not very creative. This is literally applying, DOK level 4 application skills. They're, creating that. That's amazing. And I love that you went just outside art and did a cross combination, a cross curricular combination. That it's not just art, but we're also going to incorporate, ELA into that as well. God, these are gorgeous.
Totally. And this Monica Morel is a local artist here where I live. So we get inspired, we study local artists, and we always ask their permission to study them and things like that. So it just opens up these great dialogues with local artists. And we even, believe it or not, like I don't have examples in here, but I use Google Slides even for math all the time, like Cartesian planes, like just that little like outside the box thinking has done wonders for student learning. So I think there's like 28 different examples, and these are all graded kiddos. And by the way, this is a 9-week course. So you might be looking at these and like, oh, I could never do that. Or like this, sorry, I get off topic, but this example is just rectangles. So I give students a challenge to flex their critical thinking. I want you to build me a beautiful piece of art just using rectangles. And that's all my criteria is. This was one of the examples that came up. So don't feel that you need to have like all this like detailed set criteria. Like sometimes it's a warm up. Maybe it's a start of the year thing, like boom, make me a piece of art, just rectangles. And it'll blow you away what students come up with.
That is just amazing. And so, when you and I first started talking about things, we said, a picture, of course, the saying is a picture's worth 1,000 words. And but a student photo, you said, I'm looking at my notes here, a student photo or a digital design will tell you more about that than a paragraph can.
Yeah. And just providing that flexibility. We all know that, not every student fits into the same mold. And so a lot of the things that I do when we're doing a novel study, I'll give them 4 options. Like here's a writing option, here's a design option, here's a combo option, and then students can pick, and it's powerful. And I know some of our viewers watching are, maybe Microsoft users or Adobe users, but so many of these things are versatile. Like I actually speak fluent Microsoft and Google. And like the rectangle chain, boom, do it in PowerPoint. So don't be discouraged if you're like, oh, my district doesn't use this. Whatever tool your district has, you can do a number of these activities.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so now I know our audience is just completely wowed by this, right? I know that they are. So my question to you is, how do you begin? How do teachers begin? Because now, if you hang on there, audience, Emma's going to do a demonstration of how you could do this. Yeah, Tracy, right? Tracy said she'd hang these in her office. But like, how do you begin? And so I'm going to share some more slides where, again, it's not even just necessarily art class. This is an example. I love this example. Tell me about this, Emma.
So this is just in Google Slides. And by the way, in Google Slides and in PowerPoint, you can do a custom page setup. So this is actually an 11-inch by 17. You have to put 17 first because it's just like the Cartesian plane. We do horizontal, then vertical. But we just literally make a table with 24 squares. They can throw away 2 letters. And you know what I love about ABC diagrams? Any subject, any grade, any topic, and they just make these beautiful digital literacy pieces, and it just becomes a fun way to engage with content. It's a great, start of the year. And students come up with some really cool things. So it's just a table on a Google Slides, and then they can use a combination of you can click right in the squares and add your text, or if you want some bigger letters, you can put some word art in there too.
I love how creative, I mean, obviously, right, man, this is completely creative, but isn't this so much better than like a book report and it doesn't, and you know what? And you're still using the same skills. You're still using higher order thinking to create something like this to sort of make sense of what you've learned. This is even better than like taking notes because it's got the, like taking notes in a notebook. It's got the visual and the verbal.
Yeah, and just synthesizing. It's just like a really quick and easy way to synthesize ideas in the classroom, and students love it. And you know what I love about it too? All our classrooms are so diverse, right? We have our high level and this is an activity all our learners can do and feel successful. And our high flyers can just take it to the next level.
Yeah. Now this is a pretty simple. Oh, sorry, Manny, go ahead.
I didn't even know they were called dariums. That is a new word for me. I mean, I taught 3rd grade, 1st grade, I'm like, well, I could have used that with my kids. That's great. It reminds me of like Sudoku, that it forces you to like use that first letter and come up with a word that matches what you want to say. That's great for vocabulary.
Totally. And just Steph showing another example. This is literally just some shapes. This is clouds and Google Slides. Again, you could do this in PowerPoint or even Adobe. You can just literally have them create any number of bubbles. They did 10 in total for this. And then sequentially plot out the ideas from a novel. Like, such a great way. And again, they love adding like the little icons and having
Oops,
some fun
sorry
with
about
it.
that. Sorry, like my mouse is touchy. It's very touchy. Yes, Stephanie Goldring, you're getting everything. We got everything you're seeing today. Emma has been gracious enough and generous enough. So if you hang in there at the end, we're going to give you the links. So
She's like
yeah.
Oprah, she said.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and just like maybe a little like teaser dangler. One of the in my digital swag bag is one of like my peak pandemic world explosion. One of my slide decks has over 50 templates. So stay tuned. There's lots of goodies for you to take, and sharing is caring. I don't need permission. Don't have to reach out to me by joining today. You have my permission to use anything that you see fit.
Oh,
But give that girl credit.
credit.
Give that girl credit. Okay, so tell me about this.
This was just in our social studies, a historical person. They did a beautiful silhouette. So they would find, just Google search an image, trace it for the silhouette, because to be honest, our kids know how to copy and paste. They've done that. That's not a new skill. So I have them do like a silhouette, and I just love the way, the crown stands up a Queen Matilda. And then they had to use those critical thinking skills to come up for a really good reason why they might be wanted. Even if they are a lovely human being, you still have to, come up with why they want it. And I love, the rewards, the gold coins, or, the 2 pigs, 2 chickens, and 5 cows. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Well, but it's also just, it's timely. They're really having to take on a persona and a role and go back in time.
And be authentic to the time period. So we kind of like age the paper in our Google Slides, either with coloring or something online. Like, we really go through the process as if you were living, 500 years ago.
Okay, so this brings up a question I have. Yes, Susan said it requires the students to curate too. Absolutely. Curation is a higher level thinking skill. Thanks for bringing that up, Susan. But oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, parameters, because there's a great quotation by Chris Lehman, an educational reformer. And he says, if you assign a project and get back 30 of the same thing, that's not a project, it's a recipe. So, right. If you're giving with the checklist, the assignment has to have this and this, you really are there. That doesn't allow for creativity. So I'm wondering on the other, we're seeing the end result, but how loose are you? Do students come to you and say, I want to try this? I mean, are you just like, yeah, as long as it meets sort of standards? Or
yeah, I always have, that's a really good question. I always have a general criteria, what I want them to demonstrate. But normally every assignment or project has a couple different options so that they can pick. But like for the wanted poster, they would see a criteria, 11 by 17, pick a historical figure, state why they're wanted. So there is, set things that I do want met, but then there's always a number of things that they can kind of mix up.
Yeah, and I love it. That's great, because that allows, do they come to you and say, oh, I found, because then they're actually discovering, right?
Yeah.
They're figuring it out for themselves. They're like, okay, I got to get in here and dig. Because I was a tech teacher for a while, Manny, and you were a tech. I mean, there were a lot of kids who were like, I don't know how to use this. And I was always like, well, no one taught you how to use Minecraft. So
yeah. I don't know how to use Minecraft.
Did, right?
But it's true. Sometimes when you give them like a white canvas, is like, I don't know what to do. So at least even when I was training teachers, it was like, you can do this, this, and this, or you tell me, like, wow us. But it has to be this. It has to be somehow in this box, but you can do whatever you want. Creativity is like the key point, and have fun with this. And they will push themselves to be the best. And my students will compete to see who is going to be better than the other one. And I'm like, you guys do that. It was amazing to see how competitive they were.
Yeah, and you know what the keys, Manny, just building on, I collect student examples. So anytime I do like a design or I see really cool things, like I make copies of it. So when I do introduce assignment, I'll be like, well, this is what one kid did. This is what like another. So when they see examples and variation, like
Mhm.
Manny said, it just drives and fuels. And they do, there's that competitive spirit, but it's like that inspired competitive spirit where they realize, whoa, if one of my peers can do that, I can do that. And
Yeah.
student learning just keeps jumping and it's so beautiful.
And you see it, and you're like, oh, show me how you did that because I want to do that
Yeah.
too. And then they learn that and then they try to like up it. When you see
Totally
that with
right.
your students, so they're like helping each other, OMG, like that is when the teacher is a facilitator and the kids are working and discovering to learn on their own. Oh my God, the feelings is like the best thing.
Yeah.
So,
And I know it can feel overwhelming to get started. And one thing that I just make a vow to, because you know, every time I get the kiddos, we're in Canadian time. So we start in September and we're still going. So don't hate it. We're still going right now. But I just vowed to show them one little thing a day. So maybe one day it's word art. One day it's changing the background. Like this is not something, you know, that I bombard students with one day, but if every day you show one little new trick, design, color combo, it all builds up to these beautiful masterpieces.
Mhm. And speaking of, in that digital swag bag, Emma has a great digital scavenger hunt that you can also use with our students so they can explore on their own.
so now that we're talking about,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go.
I
We're
am
all
like
talking over
on
each
it.
other. Come on.
We're talking about ideas and how, you know, sometimes we do need to have like some can you share some ideas and inspiration for the classroom? How or
Yes.
start?
No. Go ahead. No. Actually, this is where you're going to do the demonstration, right,
Yeah.
Emma? All right. So
Sure.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Share yours.
Let's do this. So just a little precursor to everyone here. I told Steph that as part of this, I would just go rogue and
Go rogue.
do it. I'm going rogue here. And I was like, okay, perfect. I can see. And I was like, okay, Steph, send me a picture of you. I will make your portrait in like 5 minutes, as long as this Zoom bar doesn't keep interrupting me. So I'm in Google Draw. This is like power hour. This is not me teaching your students. This is me just showing you how easily you can do it. So I'll zoom out. I have just put stuff here, beautiful picture stuff. I've set my workspace. I'm in Google Draw. Google Draw you can get through by your Google Drive. So maybe I'll even start with the background color, just simply right color. And you know what I love about Google right now? They have like a color matcher. So I can get like the exact, you know, Edpuzzle yellow. You probably have like a cool name for it, but I'm just going to call it Edpuzzle yellow just for today. And I do notice the Zoom is making me a little laggy, but you know what? We can just, that's the beauty of going rogue. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's get Steph going here. Oops, zoom in, come on, zoom in. So most of our drawings, there's kind of two options. There's the curve tool, which is under the line here. The curve tool is like our magic tracer. It's the fifth one down. We also have the polyline tool. It works exactly the same way. It's just going to give you that geometric look. So if you want curved lines, you use the curve tool. If you want straight, beautiful geometric art, you will use the polyline tool. And you'll see the difference in kind of those, the two tools in a lot of those examples that I show you. Fundamental for designs, the newest layer is always on top. So this sounds kind of weird, but when I start with portraits, I start with the neck. So Steph, let's give you a beautiful little neck here. Click and drag.
Will you get rid of the turkey neck too? Will you do that as well?
Oh yeah, you know, I can give you all sorts of wonders here. And then it's just a matter of fill coloring. And I always tell students, like, don't even worry about, you know, making exact or like different things. Like, this is your art. You make it what you want. And I don't fuss about too many colors until the end. So Steph, there's your neck. Okay. And all I do then is I'm going to bring my original image to the top. So your neck is there, Steph. I've just tucked it in behind. And then I get my tracing tool. I'm doing your head. So this is a single click and drag. I'll just caution you, watch out for the double click. The double click is any designer's worst nightmare, because it means you essentially need to start tracing again. So I encourage my students, to do some smaller areas. So you have a neck and you have a face so far.
Okay.
You're also looking up.
We're taking, yeah, bring it. Okay, got it.
And we bring it to the front, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to get, some good flow for your hair. Hair I do in 2 parts. Just it's easier to do smaller. And I'm just going to bring this down, and I'm not going to worry kind of about like all the different strands. We can add details on there later. So I'm doing the left side of Steffi's hair right now. And we can adjust, like it does kind of look like a little bit of like a pitchfork at the bottom. So Steffi, we can just pull that out a bit. We'll just double click. Let me just adjust your hairdo.
It was a bad hair day. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? The hair day is great. We're just gonna adjust, and I'm gonna fill color. And you know what? I'm gonna pull out a different color because I know you have some highlights in there. So we'll go kind of like a little darker brown for now, and we'll add some.
That's my real hair. That's actually my real hair color. I'm just
So now we're just doing the other side, working our way down. I'm going to give you some like good flow over there, coming back up the other side. Now I'm going to just show everyone like a little update. So if I pull this off, you can see that I have like a start. And
Shut up.
When you have like the little spaces, like we just double click and we like smooth it out. I'm a perfectionist.
Shut the front door.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna like pull this out, and like this is like power round demo here. So if I was making art at a different level, I'd put a little more finesse into you there, Steffi. But I'm just gonna show you even really quick. I'm gonna put some facial features on Steffi super quick. In the nature of time, we do eyelids closed. So I'm gonna give you like a really pensive, like thinking. So we're just gonna do them closed. And all I'm doing is tracing the bottom eyelid. I just give you a little love there. And again, it's just curve tool. I can't see the chat now, but I hope it's like being like, okay.
Oh, people gasp.
That's
We
kind
have
of cool.
Kanisha goes, gasp. She goes, I'm able to go crazy with this.
Yeah. And what people don't realize is any of those designs that you saw, it's all curve tool or polyline tool. And it's just the strategic layering of shapes. So you can see your face, to be honest, it looks a little weird right now, and that's okay. That's part of the design process.
It always
uses Sharpie as a highlighter.
Yeah, there's your like eyebrows are big these days anyway, right? Like big caterpillars. Anyway. And then for the interest of time, I told Steph this already, but I was like, for the interest of time, your smile will be a closed smile for today. But you know, the great part, if you wanted some like lip plumpers or things like that, I could hook you up with that today too. So I'm going to get Steph like a nice.
I'm goth. I'm super goth.
Yeah, let's get you like a more subtle, professional looking lip color. And I'm just doing kind of that custom palette. Now in elementary school, you know, when it comes to noses, people do triangles and it looks super awkward and out of place. The trick for designing is any little part that's shadowed or darker, like around the nostril, yes. You just kind of curve tool any part that is a natural shadow. So if I wanted to do my homegirl, you know, like Betty White, and I wanted to do an older female, the more contouring I do, I will age you. So Steffi, I'm not aging you today. You are going to look beautiful and wonderful.
Life has done that enough to me already. So thank you. I appreciate it.
That's the beauty. I'm just going to put like some shading where your smile is. I am a 42-year-old still with my childhood dimples. So you can put those in, all different things. And lastly, just kind of zooming out a little bit, how you would take your design to like the next level is then you just build in those secondary layers. Like Steffi, you have beautiful highlights. So why not go into your hair and add some little highlights. You don't even need to kind of follow, what's in the actual, but highlights just a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. Let's maybe put one on this side. And I go rogue a little bit just to give like a little volume. And I think just in the interest of time, Steffi, what do you think? I have like 1 more minute to add some details on it.
I don't see anybody in the chat complaining. I think we're all
Okay.
learning a lot. You have
Okay.
to, in fact, Emma, since while you're drawing, I'm going to tell you what people are saying. Okay.
Okay.
So we've got, this is awesome. Awesome. Kanisha says she's going to make stickers for her kids.
Oh, yes.
Molly says this is so very cool and simple. Who knew? Shelby says, I teach middle school computer science. They are absolutely going to love this. Susan DeGrave asked, is Google Draw on the 9-dot Google menu? I don't know what that means.
It's not, you can't find it in your apps launcher, but if you go to your drive where you click new to like make a new Google Doc, it's under more. And I like to think more fun exists under more.
I call that it's the 9-dot. See, Susan, I always think about food, so I call it the waffle.
Oh, yeah, the 9-dot. Okay, the waffle. Yeah, the waffle.
See, now Maddie's like, oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm like,
I just couldn't too. I call it the waffle too. The 9-dot. You know what? Duh, Emma. Hello. You know what I'm gonna do?
If you're in Google Draw, Susan, I mean, if you're in just your Google Drive and you click new and the whole menu pops down, you should be able to see Google Draw.
Yeah, totally. A little pro design trip here. I see that Steph has like this beautiful circle. If you hold down shift while you're making your circle, and again, this is like going back to, remember how I said just like one little trick a day. If you hold down shift when you're making your circle, it's going to make it perfect. So perfectionists like me love that. All right, let's check in with your drawing here. I'm just relayering because I want the circle underneath. Let's take out, oh, I just got like a magical thumbs up coming somewhere.
I know. People are happy.
I need to just go into your design a little bit and put a few little touches. So from here, I would give some more arms. This shirt is above your hair, so let's fix that. Let's put that under your hair.
I love this. It's like it's like an artist doing I'm having my portrait taken in the digital age. I love
the digital. And again, like I said, I didn't even practice. This is just me like having some fun live on the air. But this is literally what I do in front of my class is we just do little demos and I play. And once students just even see where the tool is, they're off and running.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm just smoothing out her hair. I'll add a little more to her neck. We don't want those awkward white gaps in our artwork. That's kind of the difference between okay art and amazing art. It's just smoothing that out.
Yeah.
And doing a little relaying. No, that's okay.
No. Emma, while you're doing that, some people are talking like, oh, this would be a good, someone had mentioned, and I missed it now, it would be a good start of the year project.
Oh,
yeah.
You
say yes. You say absolutely. Right?
Yeah, I actually do this at the start of the year because we build our little mural at the back of the classroom. I have them all make their little portraits, and you can make abstract ones, right? They don't have to be super realistic or anything.
Wow, that's so cool.
But yeah, and they just look amazing. Like, can you imagine like 30 of these or 100 of these as you walk into the school? And that's kind of like smooth out for today. But anyway, you can just see, just really simple. I just trace in every component of a portrait or a landscape. You just do it separately and you color it.
Oh, I love that. Now you have to sign it. You have to sign it.
Totally. And you know what I do sometimes? Like I might like crop it off because I've like done the arms. But you could put a little like word art in there. Like, let's celebrate Stephanie. And I always like love Sacramento is like a good handwriting font. Put it on an angle, get a good color in there. But I just want you to show that like anyone can design. You just start playing with that curve tool. Maybe I'll go, sorry. You know, get a little color in there. Let's zoom in. And you know, the beautiful part, so this is just a quick demo, but you can just download it as a JPEG. It can go on a website. It can go in a Google Doc. It can go on a Google Slide. And it's just so fun. Students love it.
Oh man, well, students love it, but I think our audience loves it as well. I would even recommend this for those of you who are finishing up. Oh yeah, Heather says it can be your email signature or your avatar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I would see even using this, you know, beginning of the year too, but even end of year, you know, we're always trying at the end of the year to the kid, you know, I know Emma, you're still in school, you know, even just giving them a project to work on something just to keep them busy, you know, right? And engaged.
Totally.
Engaged is a big thing.
And you know what this translates into? Characters from novels. I'm just giving you some extra like highlights in your hair stuff.
Wait,
Just
so
giving you-
elaborate on that, characters from a novel.
Well, we read lots of different novels, like The Outsiders. Residential schools is a big part of Canadian history. And there's a lot of disconnect in our Indigenous families for very good reason. And we depict those powerful moments that are full of emotions. And there's just so much that you can convey in a picture.
Mhm.
So we do novel characters. We even make like element superheroes in science where they're going to be like, I'm like potassium superpower, or I'm like the golden girl. And they just become all different things. And once your students kind of do it a little bit, you just naturally kind of integrate it in all different ways.
That's amazing. Oh, okay, but you have to sign this now and you have to send it to me because I love it so much.
Okay.
And I want to
Well, I
share it
might
out.
even like finish it up like another day. Well, not another day, maybe
I
later.
want to send it out on social media. So I wanted to put it out on social media. Everyone can see your
Okay.
brains. That
So
is
what-
absolutely easy. And now they can do this in Google Slides too, right?
Yeah, actually, and I get this question all the time is you have the curve tool, you have the polyline tool, you have like all the goodies in Google Slides. The number one difference, you'll notice when I first opened Google Drive, I had the checkered background. That allows you to do PNGs, so logos, characters without backgrounds. In Google Slides, everything will have a background. Even if you don't put one, it'll be a white background. So that I would say is the number one difference is you can, you know, do really cool design elements without a background. I call them nasty backgrounds without any nasty background. Because in the design world, like no one, I mean, this is fine because it's Edpuzzle. Okay, there's nothing nasty about Edpuzzle yellow, but
I got to tell
in
you
the
something.
design world, yeah.
I've been looking for I don't know, Manny, do you craft? Do you do anything like, you know?
I play Animal Crossing
Okay.
because it's like silly. It doesn't really do anything. It's just any of the times. And I'm looking at this, and
But
this
there are
is very
some
therapeutic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this would be really therapeutic for me to
Mhm.
even recreate like an artist work, like some of your students have
Yeah.
done.
And
Yeah.
I
so
just,
some of the students need that, like they need an outlet. And then at least
Yeah.
when I thought first grade, it's so they're younger, you can be like, really? Because you troubleshoot it when you were trying to do your picture and your portrait, you did this and that, and you didn't stop. It's granted it's not content, but you translate that into what will be content. So it's the skill that the kid is pushing through, feeling this way or that way, that is totally transferable.
yeah, I agree. This is, I've been chatting to everybody in hosting panelists. Oh, good grief. I get so, but yeah, Manny, I was just thinking this would be just therapy for people. You know, some people crochet, some people sew, some people, you know, have the coloring books. I feel like this would be so therapeutic for me.
Especially because I feel I could do that. Because like I'm looking at
Yes.
your fingers are not perfect, but you can always go back and look and redo it with little dots to match it.
Yes.
And that is so easy. Like kids can be like, oh, I could do that. Even though it's not going to be perfect in the beginning, I can then edit and make and you know
Yes.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
achievable so students don't feel like, oh, it needs to be perfect, because
Yeah.
Totally. And we would work, but a little shameless plug too, like through the Cobblestone Collective that I work for. We do virtual paint nights all the time. Like we just design and have a good time.
It's I'm going to put the link out to everybody.
Yeah, so it's the Cobblestone
Collective.com.
The cobblestonecollective.ca.
Okay, because you're in Canada.
I'm in Canada, yeah. And we do virtual paint nights. So you see, I've just like extended out your shirt, and we're gonna tuck this arm. Actually, I'm just gonna pull this down a little bit. But you can just see you slowly add it, and people always want like arms and contours. All I would do is to get like a little more realistic in your arm is do a slightly darker shade for like the crease of the elbow and things of that. So,
see, I had an art teacher in high school, and I was so bad at doing like the shading and the contouring that I got turned. I love art. I'm actually an art history minor. I have an art history minor, if you can believe it. And I love art, and my teacher just made me feel like I had no creativity because I couldn't do contouring or shading. And this is so forgiving.
Yes, I think that's the word, forgiving.
Right?
Totally, because you can double click and just adjust anything like your shirt. And then all I do is, where there's like a wrinkle in a shirt or like a movement, where I call them movement lines, but like a curve of someone's body, you just like put it in with a little bit of shading. Just all design is a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, does amazing, amazing things.
I love also that you got rid of my big giant nose. So thank you. Like all of my flaws have been hidden. So thank you for that.
Well, we can make any little.
No. I have to live with
it.
Okay.
Like we can do anything.
Oh, Emma, I love this. And again, those of you who are here, just so you know, you will get a recording of this in an email on Monday. So if you are registered, you'll get a recording of this to save, share with your students, model for them, use yourselves. It's all going to be there. We got you. We always got you. So, I love that. Emma, while you're doing that, let's talk about, again, because this is Edpuzzle, how do we fit? You keep doing what you're doing. Okay. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Let's talk about ways that video can be a useful tool for student activity. So again, as we are and this part of the live event brought to you by Edpuzzle.
You know what? Nothing wrong with that. So with Edpuzzle, the most amazing tutorials where I can, have a design, I can point out the different things, give really custom. Imagine the student galleries that you can make with Edpuzzle, like putting all these pieces together. I'd also get my students to insert their own little, feedback pieces, like what was the most challenging, like what are you most proud of, all those different, the possibilities are just endless with the Edpuzzle. I think of just like, I think people come to me all the time, like, Emma, can you make some certificates? Like literally today I made some diplomas for a preschool. Like how cool is that?
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, like I make certificates, I make diplomas, I make menus, like really anything. I sometimes even make 2 foot by 3 foot posters for birthday parties. Like it can be anything. But just imagine the different like tutorials, like, oh, Emma, how would you go about doing this design? Or, what would be your little pro tip from this? And I just think just the beautiful library you can have to support student learners.
I love that. Yeah. And I would even think, I'm going to just add, since I'd be interested to know how many people in our audience have used the Edpuzzle screen recording extension, because I thought, it's a way for you to record yourself doing this for students to watch. So they could pause it, they could rewind it, right, Manny, if they use like a teacher, and a teacher would be duplicating him or herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's like a digital co-teacher.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you, and by the way, we'll give you the link that if you don't already have the Edpuzzle screen recording extension installed, it's a Chrome extension. You can get it from the Chrome store, and it allows you to do screen recording. So there's that. I was also thinking about creating, using Edpuzzle student projects for students to record or create a reflective digital portfolio at the end of the year to share
Ooh.
their work.
Yeah, and even just charting, I think of starting student progress from the start of the year to the end of the year. Like
Mhm.
student designs now, as opposed to the start of the year, are night and day.
Yeah, that would probably be a good. So yeah, we've got those links too. If you haven't done student projects, sorry, I have to get back to the chat here. I'm managing screens, which means I can't look at Emma, and I want to look at Emma now again.
Yeah.
Okay, there we
Student
go.
projects is something that teachers really don't use. And
Yes.
it's a hidden gem. It's like you have students create videos or video lessons for their peers.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I would love for students to do it just to, kind of document the process, because what teachers forget, it's like, yes, it's great to have that beautiful image or that creativity and that final product, but learning is so much about the journey, and Edpuzzle can really capture that for you, like the journey of their design, where they started versus they end up. And I think that's, as teachers, and I have to remind myself of that all the time, is don't always be focused on the end product.
That's the
Yeah.
process that matters. Sometimes I've seen teachers that still love to do presentations and they put the kid in the front and the kid is like super shy, just like teachers are shy when they're recording themselves. I was like, just have them record themselves rather than put them in the front of the class. And
Yeah,
I think they'll do better because they can edit, they can go back and do it again and again. And they're practicing and they get better at it.
absolutely. And I think it just comes down to that creativity and the flexibility. Like, don't be afraid to allow students to show their learning in different ways. And sometimes you have to kind of take that little creativity leap of faith, but it will do wonders. Trust me, like, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
All right. While you're doing that, I am dropping links for people. So I just dropped the link about how to create a screen recording. So for those of you who haven't used Edpuzzle for screen recording, it's super easy. I just dropped the link for that, but it'll also be, so if you want to just open a tab right now, but don't panic because we're going to have everything. And that I just dropped how to get the Chrome extension from the Chrome store. And I will also drop a link for student projects, but I promise you all of this great stuff is available for you in the help store, or, it's what Manny and I do. Reach out. We can also direct you to certain videos, and most of these videos on how to do things like this with screen recording and student projects, right? They're in our YouTube channel, right?
Yeah,
Manny?
they're on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, check it out.
Emma, Susan wants to know if you can interpret the Einstein quote, creativity is intelligence having fun. That's what I shared at the start. How do you view that? Susan wants to know.
Yeah, and yeah, creativity is intelligence having fun. Absolutely. I think creative is such a fuel. It just fuels our brains. And I'll just tell you, even just for my sake, creativity was kind of really like my coping mechanism
Yes.
during the pandemic. It's really when I started pumping out just, my first landscape design was during the pandemic. I think I really haven't been doing these high-end landscapes all that long. But I think every student in our classroom has their strengths and their weaknesses. And if we're not exploring different ways to untap those, we're doing a disservice. So sometimes that creativity is, I think, just a way of tapping into those other intelligences and that problem solving piece. And it's a beautiful thing. So I don't know if I interpreted the quote, but I think as teachers, it's shifting our definition of intelligence and moving away from like, I need to see a standard paragraph from you to truly see what you can do and you can understand. But, I dare you try out maybe bringing a character to life, and you might be like, oh, there's actually way more details in this picture than they could ever put in a paragraph. So
Yeah,
little things
yeah,
to
more
keep in
than-
mind.
Oh.
too.
Yes.
Good. I was messaging people from the Q&A. I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll get to this, but we'll get to this.
I'm so
I'm
glad.
lying.
Oh my God. I am so glad Emma's doing this. It takes the pressure off us, Manny. We can actually
Yes,
respond.
I was messaging privately to all the people. Okay, so we have 3 questions on the Q&A side of it because there's a
Okay.
chat, but there's also a Q&A.
Okay.
Um,
So
there's
go
3
ahead and handle
questions.
that, Manny, please.
All right, the first question that we got was from Joseph. It says, do you use Open Journey or other AI platforms?
Ooh, good question. I do use ChatGPT sometimes just to help generate ideas, but I haven't really dabbled into too much just yet. Good question though.
I've seen a lot of pictures on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God, that looks amazing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I run into, because I share a lot of examples on social media where people are like, what AI did you use? And I'm like, I didn't use any AI. These are my kiddos. And they're like, what?
You use your AI fingers and hands.
I use those little AI human beings in front of me.
All right, well, Anna has a question. She says, hello, I teach Spanish in high school. I wonder if you could suggest me any good tools to use art in my class.
Yeah, for the Spanish culture. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's just a ton of amazing artists. You could even, do it for flags of different countries. You could design, a menu with traditional Spanish foods. You could even just design really amazing words from the language. Like sometimes I start off really simple with like word art and tossing some ingredients in there. Because words are powerful too. I'm not saying they're not powerful. So you could do like just even really beautiful words as well.
Oh, words.
I supported Spanish teachers when I was an ed coach, and we use food. So that could be also like a picture of their plate. And then we use, in Colombia, they use this US buses, they ship them there, and it's an actual bus decorated with flowers and all kinds of things. It's like super amazing looking. So that could be something you can look up, like what is, something appropriate for that culture, and then you'll find images that way. But food is always a great answer. A great option.
Yeah.
And even, I like, and even taking it with Emma's example from earlier, where just use rectangles. Use rectangles to create your dinner, right?
Totally.
That was brilliant. What else we got, Manny?
We have one more question by Ibidumi. Do the deaf Edpuzzle community supports and generally specialist position in Edpuzzle at the website? I guess this is for us.
Oh, it's for you and me? Okay.
I guess so. I mean, I know there is a program called JAWS that the deaf department use in my old district, and it just reads the screen. And whenever you hover with the mouse, it will tell the student where everything is, and they were able to use videos.
Okay. All right.
But it's an add-on. It's like a overlay on top of the screen, but that is a third-party program. And what we use, my old district, it was called JAWS. I don't know if it's available or not.
And also, any questions that we can't answer that are technical questions, if you just email support@edpuzzle.com, they are
fast.
Oh man, they are the hardest working customer service team in education. They are like, bang, you'll ask a question and they are on it. Shirley says that you're giving her great ideas for geography, Emma.
Oh, yeah, you could totally do mapping and
yeah,
the possibilities. This is even like a little like disclaimer in for some of the swag I'm giving you, but I think there's something linked. I should hope that it's in there, or I will. But I have a bunch of just examples of different things that you can do as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Emma, I hate to do this. I have to ask you to wrap this up, and I'm just sick about it because I'm mesmerized, absolutely mesmerized.
No, I think it's good. It's not like my most amazing masterpiece, but I think given the time constraints, we've done really good. Steph, do you want me to speak to any of the goodies we're giving away today? Or
Well, yeah, I'm going to share. So if you stop sharing your screen, I
go.
can share mine. Okay, here we go. So I wanted to share it with everybody. Hold that. Oh God, Zoom. All right. Hold on. I hate it so much. It's like I feel like I need 15 monitors. I really do. Okay. So for joining tonight, for being here, for all of this good stuff, I made this little, everything that we have discussed tonight, the student gallery, and even some extra goodies, lots of extra goodies. Emma has been beyond generous. So if you want to go ahead and you can go ahead and scan that QR code right now, or, oh, Maron, if you give me a hot second, I am going to get the link from my dumb monitors here. And I am going to drop this link in the chat, and you will have a one-stop shop for everything that we discussed tonight.
Yeah,
All
can we just say add to cart? And add, it's saying there, C for create. It's actually a digital literacy alphabet. So I've screenshotted tons of different examples, and I really want people to understand, like, this creativity is not just for language arts, you know, it's not just for digital design or computer class. It's for everything, and everything in here I have made. So help yourself. I even make escape rooms. If I can help or support your teaching, these are all in there. And like I said, you have my permission. You can share with friends, you can throw it all out there. If you, I am on Twitter. So if you do one of these projects with your class and you want to share the final result, I'm always happy to see them. If you want me to do a certain paint night, just reach out to the Cobblestone Collective. There's so many things that we can maybe
that would be fun for
today.
professional. Wouldn't that be fun for a back to school activity for teachers too, for professional development?
Yeah.
Being able to do a painting activity as staff. I do think someone mentioned that, so I don't want to steal your idea.
And mess-free painting, like there's no spilt water,
Yes.
there's no cleaning the brushes. It's just like the tidiest paint night.
Yes. All right. So just so you know, the white little buttons are Emma's things. The yellow buttons are Edpuzzle gifts, and the green buttons are about what I'm going to talk about now, because we've got some other upcoming live events, although it's going to be hard to follow Emma, trust me. But also hang in there, because we also want to give you a certificate of learning for attending this evening. So, okay. Our next live event, I know it's coming up. It's Monday. I know that sounds weird. We just had one Thursday, but this is life, and this is what we got with scheduling. So if you are a social studies teacher, or if you know and love a social studies teacher, you do not want to miss our Monday Edpuzzle live event, because we are featuring, this is the second in a series where we are talking about Edpuzzle Originals. So if you are not familiar with Edpuzzle Originals, they are videos created by our own curriculum team. And so last month we talked about ELA. It's on our YouTube channel. This month we're going to go live with Mark and Kelly from our social studies team. So if you are ever looking for the perfect, I like to call it teachers pay teachers for video lessons, except that they're free. So you want to join us for that. You can scan that QR code if you just want to get a reminder, because it's going to be streamed via our Edpuzzle Facebook page. So let me drop that link there for you. Okay. It's also on that little clickable slide I gave you, so you're not missing out if you don't click it right now. It's on that slide. We also have next month. Oh, I swear to God, this mouse. All right. Next month we have.
You got a teaser.
Manny, you are excited about this one.
Yes.
We've got Dee coming to join us. Yeah, it is hotter than a hot girl summer here at Edpuzzle Live. We've got the lovely author and educator, Dee Lanier, and he's going to talk about solving the challenges of educational inequity through what he calls design thinking, the problem-solving approach that focuses on empathy and collaboration and creativity. So you have to reserve your spot for this one, just like we have done here. And I'm going to drop the link, but you can scan it, or it is in that little clickable website thing I gave you. So here's that bad boy. If you want to register for that, same thing, you'll get emails and reminders and all of that. Manny, oh, what else? You've got something to remind people about our YouTube channel, right? I think I'm trying to look for notes. I'm so lost. Bro, I am so lost right now. I can't even.
So my line was, thank you for joining us tonight. And for Emma for being so awesome. And if wondering, what are you doing next? Are you promoting anything?
For
Oh,
me,
oh yeah. Oh my God. We totally forgot about Maron.
See,
Okay,
that
yeah.
was my
What else you
line.
got going on? Right. What else you got going on, Emma?
oh, you know what? I'm always game for a design challenge. Reach out to me. Nothing booked currently, but always some things going on with Google Canada and some design things. So just reach out through stuff or through the Edpuzzle.
Well, how about they follow you on Twitter, Emma? How about that?
Follow me on Twitter at Emma Cottier. There's always different design things going on, and yeah, maybe we even do an impromptu paint night. You never know.
Yeah, so someone had asked where your wait, the question we just got asked, hold on. Where do we find your classes posted? So I'm putting Cobblestone Collective. Oh, that's not it. Would some lovely person please? I don't have 8. I'm not an octopus.
Unleash creativity, Emma.
No, it was the Cobblestone
The
Collective.
cobblestonecollective.ca. Well, and you can
Oh,
check out all
Tracy. Tracy, you
Yeah.
beautiful little princess.
I'm looking at this document. I don't see it.
Tracy saved our butt.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Tracy. Woo-woo.
Valerie, if Valerie's listening from the car, yes, Valerie, you're going to get an email on Monday. If you have registered, you'll get this. I promise you, you will get this. Okay. And then the last thing, everyone's been waiting for that certificate.
Yeah.
So here we go. I am bringing that to you right now. Now that's also going to be available in the email. So again, you don't have to rush, but fill it out and it's nice. It's nice to have there. Gail, you said where Edpuzzle's class is posted. Do you mean our live events? I'm thinking you mean live events.
I think
We do not have a website yet. So that's if you follow us on our socials, if you follow Manny or if you follow me, we're always talking about them. And the social studies live event, Stephanie, it's on that thing I gave you from Emma. Everything we talked about tonight is on that first resource page with Emma's pretty little blue eyes on it.
yeah.
Answered your question. Okay, everyone, as you all go out into the world, and you will implement the ideas you learned here tonight. Share it, post it, tag Emma on social media, tag, Edpuzzle Live, hashtag, so we can all learn from each other and from our experiences tonight. Emma, oh, my heart is so full. Thank you for everything that you've shared with us. Manny, it is good to have you back, buddy.
Oh, I love it.
You bring the fun. Thank you to all of you who joined us. Thank you to keep using Edpuzzles to make learning more engaging for our kiddos. We hope to see you next month, and happy Edpuzzling.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.